Good morning, my lovelies. So I'm back again. I know it's been a minute since I've recorded, but today I felt very compelled to talk about spiritual baths. It's a very important part of our spiritual journey. Um, it's a tool to be used as frequently as you need, because something about getting in this spiritual bath really connects you with your spirit team, with your higher self, with your angels, with God, with your um, alien friends or entities that you work with. Whatever your chosen path is, spiritual baths can be used to connect you deeper. And we're going to get into how to do spiritual baths, what items need to be included, optional items, and mood settings. We're just really going to talk about how to make spiritual baths work best for you on your journey. Spiritual baths have always been a thing. I know that in ancient African religions and spirituality, they often go to the river. You have goddesses of the river, but you go to the river. You immerse yourself in the river, because water is a symbolism. It's fluid. Um, it's easy to penetrate into water. Water conforms to whatever shape or object that is surrounding. Water and the elements have the capability of creating a osmosis environment where you can have water coming in and out of your body, on a very micro level. Your body, your skin absorbs elements in the water. So there's a real deep connection that people, and specifically Black people, African people, people of African and Caribbean descent, people with melanin in their body, on their skin, in their DNA, they have a connection to this element. This element has a way of relaxing you. It has a way of taking on properties that you place into it, including yourself. And if you're familiar, Dr. Morimoto, I think that was his name. I have to look it up and I'll put it in the description. But he did a complete study about water and how water can be programmed and what the effects that this programming have on the water if you talk positively to the water and give it words of encouragement and words that make you feel good. The crystals are shaped differently than when you input negativity or words of fear, words of violence. These crystals, when you look at them, they are distorted. They're ugly. They're broken. They're missing important aspects of their structure. They're weakened. So water is a huge, a huge component in reprogramming yourself, reprogramming your mind, reprogramming your emotions, and just really tapping into yourself on a deeper level. You can use water to accomplish this. And in the US, I know water is available everywhere. So this is something that can be free. This is something that is available to you in any part of the country. Even if it's being rationed out, you still get water. You still have access to water. So I really want us to pay attention and use intention when we are working with water. Whether you're drinking water, or you're washing your hair with water, or your body, or immersing yourself. And we're going to go deeper into the immersions in the water. You should be setting intentions for everything that you do, point blank. You should not be going into any situation without some sort of intention set. Okay? So when you are planning your spiritual bath, you need to set an intention for what you want this bath to facilitate for you. Okay? What this tool is being used for. Okay, so it's like a utility tool. You can use it for multiple purposes. Whether you want to increase your self-love, or if you want to protect yourself, if you want to change your mental programming in any way, if there's a trauma that you're working through, shadow work that you're doing, if you are looking to connect with your spirit team and you need answers to specific questions, if you're looking for any sort of guidance on what to do, which decision to make, if you are just needing to relax, or if you just need to do a tune-up, if you keep having a reoccurring dream and you want to learn more about it, if you're struggling in any relationships in your life, or struggling in your career, or if there is any type of concern that you have, set the intention of the water, for the bath, to assist you in this matter. Be clear in what it is that you need to happen in this water, even if it's just to relax. Set a clear intention. So once you set your intent for the bath, you want to start to gather correspondence items that follow along with that intent. So for this segment, we're going to use the example of having a bath set for love, self-love in particular. So I've set my intent. Okay, this bath is going to be in helping me to facilitate the increase of self-love for myself, so that I can better set boundaries with my partner. So I would gather up correspondence that relates to self-love, love in general, the heart chakra, and maybe the root and sacral chakra, just depending on if I know what traumas I'm actually needing to deal with in order to get to that place. Okay, so when you're looking at correspondence, you want to make sure that you are using items that can actually be submerged in the water, that won't disintegrate or easily you lose its shape. It's except for herbs, that's different. So, but we'll get to that. Crystals, in particular, you want to make sure that you're using a hard crystal, something like a quartz crystal. And clear quartz can be programmed for anything. So if you want, you can just have you a particular crystal that you use when you take your bath and program it for whatever you need to program it for. So clear quartz is excellent for that, especially if you're going to be submerging it. If you're just having crystals to sit around your area, your tub, or whatever you're using, then you can use the softer crystals like the cinnailites or the blue kyanites, things of that nature. Herbs is another one. Herbs is another one that you want to use in your bath, but we're going to go into more details about herbs in the next section. Okay, so we have our crystals. We have it all picked out, which ones we're going to use. We have our soft ones for surrounding and setting the mood in the bathroom and or whatever, wherever you decide to do your bath. And we have the hard ones that we plan on holding and submerging in the tub with us. So now we're going to choose correspondence for herbs, if you choose to use herbs. And when I say herbs, I'm also talking about flowers. You can use flowers, roses. You can use daisies. You can use Callalina flowers. Whatever you choose. You could put lilies in there, tulips, whatever you want. It just depends on what your intent for your bath is and what are you feeling drawn to do. What is that inner voice telling you to do? What's that first thought that pops into your head about how you would do this? What makes you excited about even trying this out? So I love flowers. I don't use a lot of flowers but in my baths, but I love flowers, and so I think that I will now that we're talking about it. Okay, so the herb should also correspond with what your intention is. Bringing that element, herbs can represent the earth element in general, but each herb also have an element that they associate with. So you have some herbs that's associated with air and fire. So if you really want to just really get down to that level, the deep of it, you do what you want. But I'm just letting you know how deep this can go if you choose to. So you can get very detailed if you want. But just in general, if you want to include the earth elements, herbs and crystals are great for bringing in that earth energy. Instead of actually using physical herbs, you can use essential oils. Let's say you don't have very good drainage, so putting a strainer in can delay how long it takes for your water to empty out your tub. So you might want to use essential oils instead to just make it a cleaner cleanup, for whatever reason. It could be for spiritual reasons, it could be for practical reasons. This is a way for you to fit this into your life. This is a tool that you're going to be using probably for the rest of your life. So you actually want it to be practical and fit inside of your life. If you have a maid, then hell, use all the flowers and herbs you want. But the whole purpose is just that you are bringing in that correspondence to help solidify and strengthen your intent for this bath. I will probably stay away from powdered unless you can't avoid it. Maybe you can only get this herb in a powder or whatnot, but that really kind of muddies the water, but it's all your intent. If your intent is to soak in muddy waters for some reason, hey, using powdered herbs would be a good way to achieve that look. Another thing about herbs I wanted to mention was um, they're very potent. So you don't need 12 flowers. You may be fine with one flower or one or two leaves. If you're looking for a certain aesthetic, then, be my guest. But you don't have to use a whole bag of rose petals, in one bath. You can ration it out, just a couple there. But yeah, herbs are a wonderful way to, soften your skin, bring in intention, make it pretty, set the mood. Um, very inspiring herbs. Okay, so now you have your intent, you have your crystals, you have a couple of herbs that you want to use. You ain't went crazy. I would say 2 or 3 herbs is good. Um, Now you need your salt, all right? Because this is actually the most important ingredient. That salt, it really helps to balance out your pH. It helps you to connect with your spirit guide. And I know that salt is available everywhere. You can get Epsom salt at your grocery store. You can get it at your local pharmacy. You can get it at the dollar store. Epsom salt is everywhere and it's cheap. Okay, you don't need a lot. You can, depending on how big your tub is or whatever you use it. Some people use buckets, so you could take a spiritual bath out of a bucket. Um, I would put it in the shower. Um, so the salt, you can use the healing salt, the Epsom salt, the therapy salt. If you want, you can use fragrance salt, lavender, especially if it adds to your intent, or the aesthetics of your bath. You can use colored salt if you want your bath water to be a certain color. You can really just use your imagination. You can create the most beautiful, the most fantasy type of bath that you want. This is really truly a way of really pouring into yourself, and manifesting, a manifesting technique. Okay, so pink sea Himalayan sea salt, that is amazing. I especially love how it smells, and it's also great for um, self-love in that healing. um, so the salt is important, and if I would say a cup or two for your tub, 2 cups is good. That's a good, at least you want at least 2 cups of salt in there. You want the water to be salty, so 2 cups in there. Now, if you have any health conditions that you are not supposed to submerge yourself in salt, then there are you don't have to use the salt. The salt is amazing, but it's all really, everything is always based on your intention. Um, or you can use very little salt. But as long as you have that intent set, you'll be good to go. You have your correspondence in there. But the salt does the salt does help me. I would say that, and it definitely does kick it up a level. But definitely take care of yourselves and don't do anything that's gonna jeopardize your health. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. um, I use a lot of salt. So I say all that to say that I use a lot of salt. Like there have been times where I have been so filled with anxiety that I would use a whole bag. I would. I ain't even gonna lie to you guys. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Um, so yes, but I would say if you're gonna use as much salt as you can, um, because that really does do something with the connectivity, and it does help to relax your muscles. And the water should be warm, on the warm side, so if you can keep it like near your body temperature, maybe a little bit higher, 100 degrees maybe, but test it out before you get in. um, use your elbow, like when you check for a baby, you'll use your elbow, or a side that has like sensitive skin, so you can see, test the temperature, because you're going to be sitting in this water for about 30 minutes. Okay, so now that we talked about elements that you need in order to bring it together, let's just talk about overall the thought process behind taking a spiritual bath. So, cleansing your space, anytime that you are doing spiritual work, whether it's prayer or taking a bath, you want to cleanse the area. I choose to cleanse with sage, and sometimes I use Palo Santos. I've been using more Palo Santos lately than sage, but I still utilize both of them. You can use incense. You can use holy water. You can put it in a spray bottle, and holy water is just, you can get it from your local saga or chapel or church. You can make it yourself. I use spring water, and I pray over it and add a crystal to it. That's my method. So you can do whatever calls to you, if you decide to cleanse with holy water. So once you cleanse the area, I invite the spirits that I want to work with, my higher self, my angel, my spirit team, whatever deity that I'm working with. I usually invite them in. And then once I invite them in, then I seal the area so no other spirits or energies can come into that space. And so I'm setting my intention for this place to be cleansed and stay cleansed as I utilize it. So that's when you will set the mood with your lighting. That's when you will put your candles up, whatever crystals you're going to have set up around the area, whatever flowers you're going to have set up around the area. I run my water, and as I run my water, I put the intention into the water as it's coming in there. This water is going to be utilized to facilitate more self-love into my life. As I sit in this water, I am filling myself with love. I am accepting of myself in this water. I program this water to enchant my body with unconditional love and support. As I add my salt in, I use this salt to cleanse any negativity that no longer serves me. I use this salt to connect to my spirit team. I use this salt to connect to Goddess Aphrodite, or Mother Isis, or Mother Gaia, or Mama Universe. Okay. So then you add your herbs. I add these rose petals to enrich my life with love for self. Adding these rose petals brings sweetness into my life. Sweetness of self. I see myself in a sweeter way, in a sweeter light. Okay. I add these rose quartz to channel in the love of the universe into my life. I use this emerald to open up my heart chakra for me to receive the love of the universe and the love of myself. Right? So you set it all up, you light your candles, you set your music, and you can say affirmations while you're in the tub. You can just sit in silence and just observe your body, how it feels, what it's feeling, what you're thinking. If you're in complete darkness, what do you see? What do you don't see? Do you feel a presence there? Are you trying to remember something? Think about the smell at that time. Think about what you saw. Think about what you were hearing. You can pray. You can chant. You can cry. You can just say whatever it is that you have been wanting to say that you haven't been able to say to either a person, to yourself, to God, to just say it out loud. To see how it feels. You can weigh your options. You can just sit back and relax. You choose what you want to do. What do you need in order to heal? You may hear things. You may hear words. You may hear noises. You may sense energies. You may see energies. You can just get an overwhelming feeling of some sort. You can be inspired with ideas and lyrics. What you experience is unlimited. And the most important thing about this experience is believing in it. If you did hear something, don't second guess yourself. You did. You heard Spirit say that nigga ain't no good. You heard Spirit say that this is not the job for you. You heard Spirit say that you need to talk to your mother about this. You heard Spirit say that you need to take accountability for your actions. So believe in your experience that you have. Believe that you were successful in reaching your intention in that bath. When you get out of that bath, you should know that you accomplished your goal. You should know that whatever that you were trying to wash away and get rid of is gone. Whatever that you were welcoming in has come in and settled. Now, it may take a couple of days for the energies to balance out, but know that it was done. So it's that simple. And you can do this as often as you need to. As often as you need to. Every day, once a week, twice a week, once a month, every moon cycle, every menstrual cycle, once a year. Hey, No judgment. But incorporate this into your daily practice, into your regular practice, I should say, not daily, but into your regular practice. And I would really love to know how this has changed your life. What things you've experienced. What things were you able to overcome? What things were you able to manifest? If you made it to the end of this podcast, thank you so much for sticking it out with me. I hope that I added value to this topic for you. I hope I've given you some new ideas, some new tricks, some new ways that you want to use this tool to help advance yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. This tool can be used in so many different ways. You're only limited by your imagination. So I just send you so much love, so much light. Thank you so much for being here with me and continuing to listen. And I appreciate the energy that you bring to this podcast. So until next time, my lovelies, make sure that you take care of yourself. Make sure you drink your water, mind your business, and stay protected.